This is the Navy again. Boat train. Lambert William. The ship's cook. Imagine that. If you're a ship's cook, do you expect to die? You know? William, right there. Lambert William N. Jr., ship's cook 2C. Navy from Massachusetts. Listed here. You don't expect to die if you're cooking in a ship. That's what happened. Yeah. Is that going to be in TikTok?
Sorry?
That's going to be in TikTok?
No.
No? Yeah. You should put it on TikTok.
I don't like TikTok.
No? It's short. Only a few seconds. Like maybe 30 seconds. That's all. You dance, you put it, you're famous. Huh?
I like it, but you don't.
Oh, so you just take pictures, that's it? You don't put it on anything?
Yeah, we just love to take a picture and videos, that's it.
That's it? No, you gotta put it on social media.
We are not sick of the TikTok. I don't really like.
Instagram, you don't use Instagram?
Yes.
Oh, you use Instagram.
Instagram. Sani mole?
No, but TikTok is good. TikTok is good. You use it, you put like 30-second video.
Can you take a picture of us together? Here.
Yeah, sure. With this?
That's why I said to bodyguard the last.
Thank you. Natural review.
They need more money. They have no money. They need more money.
I guess. Yeah, that's how it looks like there.
Okay, ready?
But no, this
And
is.
we don't actually have different.
You want to do one like this?
We don't have even a percent.
Thank you. Listen, this is the reality.
Thank you so much.
Let me take one with this.
Oh no, thank you.
Huh?
I cannot use it.
No, I mean if you want to take one of you with this camera. Hold on a second. You too.
I use the shower.
So you'll see yourself on the YouTube then. When I send you the pictures.
Now
You will see.
Married?
Yeah. With the Statue of Liberty in the background. Right there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, let me ask you, do you have any idea how many people died in the Vietnam War?
Here?
No, I mean in the Vietnam War. You have any idea how many people?
In Vietnam, I don't know. Actually, I don't follow the news. I'm not really interested in it.
Yeah.
Because when I see how many people are dying,
Yeah.
I get angry.
No, I mean in the war, Vietnam War.
No.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the pandemic.
No, let me give you the number. 57,000 people
Wow.
died in the Vietnam War, and in the pandemic in America, right? We have about over 150,000 so far in 6 months, right? The Vietnam War went from 1965, No, 1964 to 1975. That's 11 years. So
Oh,
in the,
this happened
Yeah.
in 1965?
64 to 1975. That's the war. Yeah.
Wow.
64 to 75. 11 years. And 57,000 people died.
What's the reason?
Well, they were invaded Vietnam. You know, back then with with communism and so forth. It's kind of hard to get into, but like Uzbekistan used to be part of the Soviet Union at one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happened. Back then they believed that the entire world would become communist.
It's like as they fight for their freedom.
Well, they had South Vietnam and North Vietnam, and the Americans went in to support the South Vietnamese, right? And eventually they lost because the North Vietnamese were being held by China and Russia, the Soviet Union.
Wow.
So there was no way the Americans can win that war. So it was a waste of time, So all these people
Die for nothing.
died, for a war that in the end they didn't surrender, but they left. They picked up and left. The American military left. They didn't say we won. They left. You see? So it wasn't really a good war. It was a useless war.
Names is like you said 50,000 something.
57,000.
57,000 people
Yeah.
die for nothing.
Well, for me, they died for nothing. Because for what? Vietnam is still a communist country. I was in Vietnam. I went to Vietnam 2 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
From here? You born here?
No, I was born in Trinidad. Yeah, in the Caribbean. And I came here. I grew up here. I grew up in New York, in Brooklyn. Yeah. But I went to school here and all that stuff. So I know the history.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know the history.
You came here 3 years ago, right?
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really don't know my right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting.
But you're getting a little history from me, So you could compare. 57,000 people died in the Vietnam War over 11 years. And in COVID pandemic, in 6 months, over 150,000 Americans died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just Americans?
Well, Americans and people who live here,
Oh.
But in the whole world, it's over 700,000 dead. In the rest of the world, the entire world, more people, close to 1 million dead. Yeah. So it's really bad.
But it's always like people dying and more like.
Yeah. But when you look at the names, you can see the different states. You notice?
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Mexico.
You see those
California,
people.
New York.
This guy here is from New York.
Oh,
Kelly Thomas. You see?
so here is the states and there is a people.
Well, this is the person name here. Kelly Thomas. He was a lieutenant, United States Navy Reserve from New York. See? This one here, Kellogg Harold, Seaman 2C, United States Navy Reserve, California. This person from Florida, Seaman. And if you look up there, it's all Navy. On the other side, they have like the Army over there. That's different. And Air Forces over there. See? So you have different states. Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Illinois, New York. You see? Canary, Arthur, Seaman.
In our country, we have also a thing like that, but it's like book,
Yeah.
big book, and it's about World War II.
Oh, well, yeah. Because back then the Soviet Union suffered a lot, There were many people who died in the Soviet Union when they were invaded by the Germans, the Nazis. You know, and that was during the time of Stalin. You know,
Yes.
and Stalin, unfortunately, was a very cruel man. He killed a lot of people too. You know, yeah, during that time. And many people, some of them, they sent to like Siberia, places like that, and it's very freezing cold in that part of the world. So some of these people died. Yeah, they were sent forced into labor. So Stalin was very cruel between him and Hitler.
Stalin
You know?
was so rude with everyone.
Yeah, he was
Never-
ruthless.
Yeah, he wasn't like, he never like, I don't
Yeah.
know how you say in English.
Yeah,
He never like saved anyone's life. He was like, if somebody did something wrong,
Yeah.
what he didn't like, he could say like, shoot him,
Yeah.
shoot him. And we have in my country actually we did a performance
Yeah.
about him. Like
Oh, really?
how he's acting. Like I remember
Yeah.
it was actually we made a little bit fun.
right,
Shoot him, shoot him.
Right.
In English, in Russian we say расстрелять.
yeah.
Расстрелять.
But he was from Georgia, right?
Yes.
Georgia,
Yes.
yeah. He was from
so rude.
he was from Georgia, but he was known as a dictator. You know, he was a dictator, Stalin.
Yes.
Different.
Yes,
He was different from the other party members, like who came up after, like Khrushchev, Gorbachev, so forth. He was very different, you know, because the Soviet Union is back then was more like a party state. They had like the party, and the party is the one that put you in power. But Stalin was more like a dictator.
Yes.
Yeah, he wasn't really like, you know, following the
A lot
party
of
around.
Rich people become approved
Everybody was scared of him.
in certain
Yeah.
Crazy.
But if you notice, during the war, Stalin was sitting with back then President Roosevelt and Churchill, Winston Churchill from England.
Really?
Yeah, they had what they call the Yalta Conference. Yalta?
Yalta Conference.
Yeah, the Yalta
What
Conference.
was about?
Well, in the Yalta Conference, they decide they're going to sit down together and they're going to decide after the war is ended, you know, how they're going to divide up.
The place.
Yeah, that's what they did, you see. And they also had the Terran Conference. If you ever check, you're going to see a picture of Churchill, FDR, Roosevelt, and Stalin. And back then, the Soviet Union was very much an enemy of the United States, but they were fighting a common enemy, which was Hitler. And that was more important to defeat. And back then, the Russians were not really prepared for a war. They didn't really have the
Yeah,
kind
they
of...
were not.
No, they were not. They were still...
At the end of the war, they did really good.
They were still using horses and so forth, you know, the Russians. It was terrible, you see. So they got together and they decided how they're going to split things up. And what happened, they agreed to have, like the Soviet Union would control the eastern part of Europe. So that's why you have all these countries like Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, you know, all these countries, Bulgaria, Romania, they all became communists. Yeah, that was the agreement that they made. But the United States came out more powerful, but yet they allowed the Soviet Union.
But United States joined the war, end of the war, yeah? When United States
Yeah.
joined to the war when it's almost like finishing.
No.
Yeah.
The United States joined the war in 1941,
Really?
but they joined it in the Far East
France?
against
What about
Japan.
France?
When
France?
it's Germany.
Yeah, France was taken over, I think, by 1942, when they were invaded by the Germans.
Yes.
Yeah, but the United States wasn't in the war at that time. In Europe, they were in the Far East, you know, against Japan. That's where they were, because they had no reason to be there. You see, they were not attacked by Germany or anything like that. So
The United States become more powerful in this time than other countries. That's why they like start growing up
yeah,
in the war because they didn't join the war. And in the end of the war, they joined and like they did good job, I think, because war is like killing the people and nothing.
well, what happened? The Japanese attacked the American forces in Pearl Harbor. You know, I don't know if you're aware of that.
No.
Yeah, well, now you know. The Japanese in December 7, 1941, this is from history, I wasn't born, the Japanese attacked the American base in Pearl Harbor. And that's how come America got into World War II.
A lot of information in our country they don't tell us. Like a lot
Yeah.
of information is secret.
Yeah,
I heard some of information when I came
Yeah.
here. It's like
But it's not true. You don't know.
yeah,
Nobody's sure about it.
no, I heard some like documentary information.
No, I
When
know,
I
but,
came
but
here.
nobody
Yeah.
knows. Is that right or not? Well, nobody knows. Politicians, things, or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of, we never know the truth. This is the truth.
well, what happened back then under the Soviets? They were very secretive, you know, because I remember growing up when the Soviet Union was really, you know, powerful, and you couldn't leave the Soviet Union like that, you know. Like today, people could, you know, like they want to leave Russia, they can leave Russia. You have many rich Russians now. No, it wasn't like that. In Russia, there was a lot of poverty. The only good thing about it is that you show that you either had a job or an income or a pension in Russia. Now it's different. You see? So back then, you couldn't really leave. You couldn't just say, "Oh, I want to pick up and leave." Like East Germany, there was an East Germany. I don't know if you know that. There was an East Germany and West Germany. The East Germany was aligned with Russia, and there was the Berlin Wall. And if people tried to leave, like East Germany and get to West Germany, people used to be shot and killed. Yeah, just trying to get over the Berlin Wall that used to divide East Germany from West Germany.
But after World War II, like we left the Soviet Union, our country. I mean,
Yeah,
it was not a problem, and there was no like fighting. They just like.
but it was only until around, I think, 1991 that the Soviet Union broke up. Then you had the so-called, because I remember when I look at the Olympics in 1992, they had the association of, you know, like the different states from the former Soviet Union, because they used to play as one blood, the USSR, Soviet Union, and then they broke up. So the 1992 Olympics, they were playing, you know, as an association, but under different names, you see. And back then, it was very, very hard because they used to cheat. Them and the East Germans, they used to use drugs. The athletes, yeah. They used to use drugs, like especially, like you know, like for example, the gymnastics, which is very hard, right? Gymnastics, you know, where people flip and so forth and go on the parallel bars, and they jump and they flip over. The East Germans were very good at that. But years later, we found out they cheated. They used different drugs to help them. So did the Soviet Union, too. Yeah. The Soviet Union. The Russians were very good at that.
The story is so much complicated.
Yeah, they were very good at that, at
Country
cheating.
has their right, like they say like that's right, and
Yeah.
each country has a different story.
Yeah. But now the Soviet Union